Okay, hi everyone again. We're going to talk about the clef today. Now, you might not know what the clef is. The clef is crucial. It's pretty much as important as the stave that we were just talking about. So it's really, really good to get to know it straight away. Okay, and there are lots of different types of clef. Four exactly, to be precise. There are the treble clef, the bass clef, the alto clef, and the tenor clef. If you are a singer, you've probably spotted that treble, alto, tenor, and bass are the different voice ranges that you can have. So yeah, there is a similarity there. But we're just going to look at the treble clef and the bass clef today because these are the most common clefs that you'll see, and we're just going to focus on those. Okay, so moving on. Now, whenever you see a clef, you will always see it right at the beginning of the stave. It's always going to be right at the start, as far to the left as you can possibly get, okay, before anything else has appeared on the line. And, well, this is what they look like. So the one on the left here, this is the treble clef. Now you can see it's not the easiest one to draw. It's got a lot of flicks. It starts here, in between the first two lines, right at the bottom. And I'll explain what that's used for in a second. The bass clef, a bit easier to write. You actually draw the dot on the second line from the top, and it is a big number 9, basically. Okay, so what is a clef? Why does it appear in music everywhere? Well, it's pretty simple, really. If you imagine, I have no idea how many instruments there are in the world. I'm guessing there's way over 100. I mean, you probably know better than me. The important thing is these instruments all have a different pitch range. Okay, what I mean when I say pitch is how high or how low the notes are that you play. So you might be playing the violin or the piano or the saxophone, and they're quite a high pitch range. You could be playing a really low instrument like the double bass or the cello or the bassoon or tuba, and that's a low pitch range. There's no way all of those instruments are going to fit on the 5 lines of a music stave. So that's why you use a clef, to make the notes look different on mean different things on different clefs. So here we have the treble clef. We've got some notes here going up the treble clef, and what this means is if you play a high instrument with a high pitch range, such as the violin, such as the flute, the piccolo, the trumpet, the clarinet, those kind of instruments, you use the treble clef. Okay, so if you play a high instrument, you use a treble clef. If you play a low instrument, as the name suggests, the bass clef, you use the bass clef. Okay, so cello, double bass, bassoon, trombone, for example, they all use the bass clef. I should actually mention, you can see I've written it down here. The bottom half of the piano uses the bass clef, and the top half of the piano uses the treble clef. So bottom half is bass clef and top half is the piano, because obviously the piano has a much bigger pitch range than most instruments. Okay, now as I was saying, because there's so many different instruments, we have to use different clefs so that all of the notes that we usually play will fit onto the stave and they won't be miles above it or miles below it. So if you have 2 notes in the same place on the stave but using a different clef, they will be very different notes. I've drawn an example here. We've got a C here in treble clef. That in that position between the 3rd and the 4th line from the bottom, that note there would be a C. It would be a C, a fairly high C, okay, above middle C. Whereas in the bass clef, that note would be an E. So different notes. Now you might think, well, that's not too big a difference, you know, C, D, E, it's only 2 notes difference. But actually, it's a lower E. It's not the E nearby, it's a much lower E. So just remember, if you use a different clef, you are looking at different notes on the stave. Okay, and just to finish off, this is what a treble clef would look like in action in a piece normally. You can see here, it's always down the left-hand side of the page before anything else at the start of each stave, and the same thing in the bass clef, always to the left before anything else. Okay, so thanks a lot for listening to me, and check back for the next clip in the series. Okay.